we got UFC Fight Night, Robert Whittaker versus Reiner de Ritter. Ooh, boy. Let's just start going through all these fights. I'm excited to talk about each and every single one of these. Some faster than others. Some that I'm just going to we got to move on. All right, but let's just get started. We have Martin Buday versus Marcus Buchecha. Yeah, Buchecha. Both are just, again, too inactive. I don't know what it is for some of these fights, but we got some fucking inactive fighters finally coming back to try and be active again. So it makes it much more of a toss-up as to what version of these fighters are going to show up. The best version of themselves because they were given time and relaxation to become the best version, or the worst versions who took too much time off. They ended up wanting to come back too late, but didn't put the effort in throughout their departure to come back strong. So it's a bit disheartening to see so many of these kinds of fights on this card. Either way, it's a good card, though, so I'm looking forward to it. Neither one the most active. However, I liked what I saw from Buday. It was earlier in this year, I think. He styled on his opponent. I picked against Buday in that fight, and Buday just ended up overperforming, I think. It's almost like odds were against him, and he rose to the occasion. Not like it was gigantic odds, but I think he was just such a short notice thing. He was so impressive to look that good on a short notice. So I'm picking Buday on this one. I don't know much about Marcus, but it seems like it didn't really have too much about him. He's coming from the one championship, but again, off record. It's weird. It's not active enough to really be reliable to say how it's going to influence this fight. That's all. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Martin Buday, I'm going to go with decision. Mohammad Yahya versus Stephen Nguyen. Yeah, dude. So again, this is what I'm talking about. Mohammad has not fought since getting finished a year ago in the last 15 seconds of the first round. And for Steven, it's been over a year ago, winning, I think, a decision. I don't know. Yeah. Toss-up battle. I think that Yahya's striking is going to be a bit more ahead. And I just am going kind of coin toss here. I'm anticipating for Mohammad to have trained his ass off and come in the best version of himself. I think that getting finished like that, taking that time off, and then coming back with a sound mind, this to me seems like the right person to pick, as in coming back the most prepared. But you already know he can come back the most prepared he's ever been and still lose within the first 30 seconds. So, yeah, let's be careful. I'll pick Mohammad, though. I'm going to be going first round by stoppage. Toss up. I just think that one will be the worst version and one will be the best version. And that's going to lead to violence. Ibo Aslan versus Billy Elekana. Cool. So the last time I saw Billy Elekana was against Bogdan Guskov, and Billy Elekana stepped on short notice, had an amazing first round until he didn't. I think that he is a grappler at heart, but is a dog in his soul. He wants to enter wars and he likes getting into fights, but motherfucker will stay there getting beat up for too long, to the point that he really should switch things up and become more refined. Again, short notice, but that's what I saw. He just kind of smiled in the grit of it. I don't like seeing that because that's just you enjoying or finding satisfaction in that you're a tough guy in there. You can be a tough guy, but you also want to win. You want to be the winner. You want to be the killer guy. So Ibo Aslan getting finished in his last fight against Kutalaba, he came out to play. Aslan comes out to play every time. He comes out looking for KOs and fucking kills. Billy Elekana is going to have a rough night here. I'm picking Ibo Aslan by first round KO. He's going to walk forward. Billy Elekana is going to try to stop him, and then Ibo's going to swat his arms away and put him to sleep. Going to be a brutal fucking finish here. Expect the best. I think that's going to really it's going to set the tone as it should be for that night. Amanda Ribas versus Tabatha Ricci. I'm picking Amanda Ribas. Not really for one or the other. When I was looking at this fight, I saw that both of them are just so similar. I'm stuck in another situation where I feel like it's a coin toss. So I'm trying to figure out what can I look at to say this is why I'm going to be giving Ribas the edge here. It was just because her significant strike defense and having the edge of the subs average per minute. They were so similar in all their stats that I decided that edge, that's enough for me to just give it to Ribas. I'm hoping that experience, I'm hoping her striking will be there. It's going to be a bit of a war. It's not going to be a brutal, gritty war, but it's going to be a messy, dirty fight is what I imagine. I'm looking forward to it. I think that's going to be a fantastic fight. I'm picking Ribas, going with a decision on her. I think it's going to be an incredible fight no matter what. Again, Ricci could absolutely take that fight. Maybe she could even get a finish on Ribas, but I'm just going Ribas with a slight edge in her stats. I'm looking forward to the fight. Just go for it. Have fun. Let's see what happens then. Let's not even think about who's going to win that one. Davey Grant versus Damon Blackshear. I went Damon Blackshear. I just love what he's been doing as of late. I think he's been active. I think his striking has gotten so much better. I think his groundwork is incredible. Incredible as in that it's strong. I don't think he's technically brilliant. I think he is overall sound completely. That's what I like to say, is that he's sound completely. I completely trust his abilities. You know, when I see a guy like Damon Blackshear, it's just that I can trust and have faith that the next fight he has, he's going to show up the version of himself that should be there to perform and to compete. Davey Grant, I don't know a whole bunch of. I saw his last fight, looked pretty good. I think he's going to have some pretty good strikes in the first round. But if it goes anywhere but standing in the center of the cage, Blackshear is going to be taking that fight all day. He's going to take him to the ground and more than likely get a sub in the second round. That's what I'm feeling. Sub second round, Damon Blackshear. That's what I got to say about that. Muslim Salkhov versus Carlos Leal. You are not going to get me to go against Leal right now. I don't give a shit. I don't care who it is. It's going to have to be a monster for me to go against Leal. Okay? Look at what he did last time. I knew that shit was going to happen. I knew that shit was going to happen. He was going to beat the shit out of Morono. And he did. It was brutal. It was great. I'm expecting something similar. It might not be as easy because Salkhov is going to be putting up a great battle. He's going to be a lot more durable than Morono and be a bit more hungry in different ways of where he sees opportunities. So Leal is going to be being pushed in this fight, but I'm going to Leal 1 billion% of the way. I'm going to Leal with a round 3 KO because, again, I think Salkhov is going to give Leal a hard fight. Very, very hard fight. Even harder than the fight he actually lost in his debut, which he should have won, by the way. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go into that. That was one of the worst decisions I think I've ever seen in my life. But Leal, round 3 KO. If he doesn't get that KO, it's a decision for Leal. Really straightforward here. That one's going to be fucking nasty. Nasty, nasty. Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. I love that Bryce is going down in weight. He's going to be one of the bigger people in that weight class. He still is one of the most impressive and skillful grapplers and jiu-jitsu people in the UFC right now. His striking is fine. It's well enough. He stands and he's able to survive a lot longer than other people who would normally die to some fucking fighters. I mean, say we got John Silva and Topuria. Both maybe had potential to knock out Bryce. Maybe they just wanted to go for the submission on Bryce to make a point. But the point for me to take away is that Bryce didn't get knocked out by knockout artists. I don't think he's gotten, okay, let's be careful there. He got knocked out by Josh Emmett, one of the most brutal knockout artists there are. But for the most part, Bryce, he typically survives. And Said is no knockout artist. Said is actually a fantastic striker. He's a great striker and a great grappler, but he's not elite in the grappling like Bryce is. I think Bryce, with the strength that he has in that weight class, is going to be able to outpower where most would not against Nurmagomedov and outskill Nurmagomedov where, again, most would not. It's going to surprise Said the entire fight. I think Said's going to be expecting that kind of skill from Bryce, obviously. But I don't think he's going to be ready for just how good Bryce is on the ground. Bryce is pretty spectacular when he really wants to, when he really puts it on, and he has to. Obviously, he has to. But I'm expecting Bryce to win. I think, honestly, a round 1 submission is in the possibilities for Bryce here, even though Said is an amazing competitor, or it goes to a decision. Bryce by the sub or a decision. I'll go round 1 for the sub, but I'm picking Bryce Mitchell all the way here. Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. I like Bogdan. I'm going Nikita here, guys. Nikita, I picked against him versus Dominic Reyes. Kind of a hopeful fight. Kind of a hopeful outcome. I just expected Dominic Reyes' rise and momentum to carry him in that one. I didn't expect him to get a fucking round 1 KO like he did in that fight, right? But Nikita, I am unbelievably happy to see him return so soon. After so many different times, he just walked away, came back, and, obviously he has things going on, but he's back as fast as I've seen him return in a while. So I'm excited to see what he's doing. I'm excited to see how hungry he is, how ready and game he is for a war with Bogdan. Bogdan is going to have great striking. He's going to have pretty okay responses to the grappling if Nikita really wants to shoot for anything, which I extremely doubt. But I 1000% guarantee for myself, I'm not going to guarantee to y'all, I know that, but I guarantee for myself that Nikita is going to fucking knock the shit out of Bogdan. Okay? Bogdan's good, but I think Nikita is great. I think when you get to Nikita is when the skill level changes. It's going to be a hard realization for Bogdan. I'm going round 1. For sure. Round 1, KO Nikita. If not round 1, round 2, TKO. He's getting Bogdan out of there, though. Almost for sure. I want to see the odds in this fight. I don't know any of the odds on any of these fights. For the most part, I'm stopping to look at that unless it's really 50-50. But I would love to see the odds here because I want to know what people think. If they really think Bogdan has a chance, I'd love to see the reasoning. I would love to see the reasoning. But for now, Nikita. Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. Asu was supposed to fight Timirov, but Timirov popped for some banned substances in the UFC. I'm not going to go into that. I actually didn't look into that too hard myself. It seems like it's some sort of flesh-eating thing. It's a whole thing. Go look it up yourself if you want to learn more, but this fight was supposed to be against a different thing completely. Jose Ochoa is stepping in on short notice. He fought very recently against Cody Durden. Really, really, really... Is that quick turnaround? Is that really quick? It was about a month ago. Okay. Yeah, so Jose Ochoa fought Cody Durden roughly a month ago. Very, very, very quick turnaround for Jose Ochoa. And against Almabayev, who fought Manel Kopp in a... it's hard to describe that fight because for Almabayev, that ended in the worst way it could for him in an eye poke loss. Ridiculous of a loss for him. Super unfortunate. Didn't get to show off the real skills he has because he faced someone who really likes to fucking lean on the iffy cheating side. And it sucks that he's going to be going against Jose Ochoa because Ochoa has fucking hands, all right? I picked him in his last fight against Cody Durden. Jose Ochoa proved himself to a lot of people in that Cody Durden fight. I'm going to be picking Jose Ochoa here. Going to be hard if he allows the grappling to continue on. He should really, really, really try to stay in the center of the cage, be ready for far-off shoots that Asu is going to definitely be pulling on him, and make it a standing fight. Make it a fight standing. Keep it standing up. If you need to go to the cage, never stop laying damage and make it obvious you're the one in control. It's going to be pretty tough against Asu. Asu is well-rounded. He's tough. He's going to be a very, very hard nut to crack, but I think Jose Ochoa has the capabilities. He learned off of Lonier Kavana or whatever the fuck. And I think that loss is such a good learning lesson for him to know that he has it in him to go up with the top of the league and to put it on. He can put that shit on. So put it on to Sue. I'm excited to see his hands go flying. I hope another round 3 or whatever it was TKO for him, just like Cody Durden, because that shit was incredible. He decided that he's not going to have a competitive bout and decided to fucking murder. Do that again. I am so sure that Jose can get that fucking knockout. He's going to probably win a split decision here. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go split decision here for Jose Ochoa, even though I know he can get a fucking knockout. But let's just go with that. Excited. Very much looking forward to that one. Shara Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I'm going the bullet here. I'm excited. So Marc-Andre did great against an opponent I don't care for. It was the Bruno Silva or whatever the fuck. I just know that if this stays standing, Shara has this all day. Sure, he lost against MVP, but let's not compare regular UFC fighters, most UFC fighters, to what MVP is able to do. He's able to go throughout many different fighting leagues and fight his fight and whoop ass everywhere. MVP is that good. I'm happy to see, though, Shara is back in it. He's ready to go again. He's not going to let that one loss stop him completely. This is a pretty good turnaround time. They fought, in February, I think, like that? For it to be about 4 months after a loss, yeah, that's pretty okay. That's not bad. It could have been longer, but hey, man, I'm happy to see him back against a someone who just got a victory and wants to get that shit moving and going. So he's giving guys a chance. It's going to be a tough fight for the most part, but I 1000% see Marc-Andre is going to want to switch it up. Shara is not going to allow that. He's going to outpace and outmaneuver Marc-Andre for the better part of 15 minutes, and Shara is going to be laying his shots the entire night. I don't think he's going to be able to get a knockout blow. I don't think he's going to be able to get a TKO blow either. I don't see any submissions. So I'll go with decision here as my firm answer. If he does get... if he does... No, I just really don't. I don't see Mark Jane going out like that. So I'm going to just keep it decision. I think Shara is going to piece him up. Piece him up, dance around, do your jig on the deck, and go off the poop slide or whatever the pirates call, poop deck or whatever the fuck. Yeah, pirate words. Ahoy! Whatever. Petr Yan versus Marcus Mcghee. I consider Yan to be one of, if not the most technically impressive fighters I have ever seen in my life. His takedowns, I was just showing my roommate right now, and my God, the takedowns he's able to do should be in a book. It should be painted on walls. He is able to do such impressive maneuvers to get these fucking takedowns and these sneaky little strikes he does. It's so clean. In my heart of hearts, I can't really go against Yan, I think almost ever, against almost anyone in his divisions. He's too skilled. He has power. He has damage. He's fast. He's older, but he's still moving like a guy in his prime. I'm picking Yan on this one. It sucks for Mcghee because I think he's actually pretty fucking fantastic, but he just needed a bit more time to work up to a guy like Yan. Like, for fuck's sake, Yan is a monumental leap in competition. We went from regionals to world class. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of difference we're dealing with here. I'm picking Yan. I'm picking Yan by... I'm going to say round one. I'm going to say round one submission. I like I like Marcus. I like what he did in the last fight. The last fight was fucking cool. But Yan, man, you're picking the guy that's the most skilled. You're picking the guy who's proved himself 1,000 times already, and the guy that has not left my brain because he's active. Love it. Let's go, Petr Yan. Decision on that one. I'm sorry. Finish by first round sub. Let's fucking go for that. Robert Whittaker versus Reiner de Ridder. Man. I'm going back and forth right now. I went back and forth when I sat on the couch, and I'm having a bit mixed feelings here. I want to stick by my guns, though, and what I originally wrote down. I originally wrote down that Reiner de Ridder is going to win this fight. Robert Whittaker is great, but the biggest thing, and I'm just going to be straight up. I'm going to be straight up with why I feel this way. Because he keeps talking about his retirement. I like hearing it. Now, he's not keep talking about it, but I keep hearing about how he said this. Something about that bugs me to shit. It really does scream to me like, his heart's not 1,000% in it. I don't know why he accepted a fight with Reiner de Ridder, who's pretty far below him in the rankings, that quickly after the Khamzat loss. Like, that kind of sucks to me to see that turnaround so fast. I would have really liked to see Kyle Barriault, Sean Strickland, fucking even Israel Adesanya again. I would have cared to see that one. But I don't see a lot of enthusiasm, engagement, and readiness for Reiner de Ridder, who, I mean, if you're not ready to fight Reiner, he's going to whoop your ass. Bo Nickal was not ready to fight Reiner. He got fucked up in that fight in the best way possible by volume. He got out-volumed hard. He got out-skilled everywhere. He got out-enduranced. He got out-durabled. Fucking Reiner de Ridder, I didn't know he had it like that. So far, every single fight in the UFC, he's won by a finish. Either 2 subs and a TKO then. I think that's what it is. I think he could do the same for Rob Whittaker. I think that Reiner, I don't know if he's going to be really able to... He's not beating DDP. Let's get that straight. But Robert, I think he can get through. I'm going to be picking Reiner. Oh, man. I want to see Reiner in the second. I don't see this going the whole way. It definitely could, but I don't think either one of them really has the endurance to go all that way. And, you know, Robert does, obviously. But by the time it goes to 4 and 5, they're both going to be drained to fuck. So I'll say round 3. I'll say round 3 sub for Reiner. Sucks. I love Rob Whittaker. I'm always going to be a big-ass fan. I just don't think he's going to win this fight, though. You know, that's just the end. That's the end. I don't even want to say anything more about that. That's just it. I just don't think he's going to win this fight. That's it. Very much looking forward to it. This is going to be a fantastic night. I think this is actually a brilliant fight night, filled to the brim with fights that I'm looking forward to. So, hurrah. Let's go. I'll catch y'all next time, next week or so, or something like that. Peace out, y'all. Goodbye.